100 years from now, what are you looking at? You're looking at a god.
But what will happen when artificial intelligence is actually intelligent?
Well, it'll be less than 100 years. I mean...
So you're looking at a god in 50 years?
2029, that's only 5 years from now.
One last question, one final prompt.
And that's the first time in history that we have a tool that is not just a tool, that can behave by itself. We are living and shifting how we are doing things, because no law or regulation or human and society rule is prepared to a tool that can become a subject. Well, I'm Pablo Corona. I'm president of the Mexican Internet Association and founding member of the Mexican Alliance for Artificial Intelligence. Let me go back to a book that I like a lot that is called Singularity is Near. Ray Kurzweil wrote this book around 95, I guess.
Okay.
And he was foreseeing things happening very quickly. And he said certain things will start to happen, and this singularity is about not just artificial intelligence, but the convergence of neural technology and biotechnology and nanorobotics that will merge and do things, because for something to be really intelligent, it needs to sense the world. So today, even if we call it like a familiar name, artificial intelligence, it is not that intelligent today. Everyone thinks that it's super intelligent, but today it's not as intelligent as everyone thinks. It's a chatbot, well, but
very good one. Yeah.
I compare it with the intelligence of a human being, maybe the intelligence of a 15-year-old boy.
Okay.
But intelligence is not just knowing things. What Ray Kurzweil said is that to reach this singularity, it doesn't mean only having computers, code, and models, that we need to create something to interact with the environment.
Okay.
So that's where nanorobotics and Neuralink or whatever will start to take place.
Does that scare you at all?
So that's scary, but that's exciting, because we're living in shift in how humanity has been doing things. So you asked me what I didn't saw coming. I didn't saw coming that fast. Many people thought that Ray was way too optimistic and that his dates were too short. And now we are realizing that he was not that wrong. And actually last year he wrote a second book calling Singularity is Nearer.
Okay. So what happens when we get near the singularity? What is the synopsis there?
Let me give you an example. Today, humanity has been creating tools for thousands of years, right? And every tool can be used for different purposes. And it's on the usage of the user what the tool does.
Yeah.
So they call it the hammer paradigm. So I have a hammer and I can build furniture and beautiful things, but I can damage someone with a hammer.
Sure.
It depends on the intention of the person, because the will and the intelligence of the person is what conducts the tool. But if artificial intelligence becomes really intelligent, that it's not right now, but it will, it will be the first tool that will be developed by the human being, but will no longer be a tool, but a subject. And that's the first time in history that we have a tool that is not just a tool, that can behave by itself.
And we've given it to every single person.
And
we've mass distributed it to everyone.
So that's the thing that is scary, but it's exciting, because it can happen many things, and I will tell you some others. So it's scary, but we are living and shifting how we are doing things, because no law or regulation or human and society rule is prepared to a tool that can become a subject, that can become a thing that today we cannot call it a live being or a being, but it's a thing that can behave and control and decide.
Now, is there a scenario or some sort of future possibility that something digital could be considered alive? I mean, these things have already passed the Turing test. haven't they?
Yeah, they pass the Turing test, but there are different layers of the Turing test. Because Alan Turing in the 50s created this Turing test saying there was not an actual test, not an actual set of questions. It was just a scenario where he said if a machine can interact with another human being without this human being knowing the machine and making him think he's another human being, this is the moment the machine passed the test. So there have been different layers and different installments of this Turing test. And you mentioned, where can we mention something is alive? There is a term called autopoiesis. Live cells do to reproduce themselves, think that the human cells and any live being cells do to reproduce itself, to feed itself, to repair itself, and to evolve, right? So the current definition of life is things that have autopoiesis, right? It's the current scientific definition of life is things that has this cell environment that can heal itself, that can reproduce itself, that can evolve. And these things is the definition today of life. What happens, and this convergence that I mentioned in the singularity, if we have something that is a nanorobotic thing that can repair itself, that can feed itself, that can learn, and that can evolve.
Yeah.
And in that moment, that is fulfilling the current definition of life. And that is a question that Ray Kurzweil asked many things in the book. And he makes a comparison and said, imagine this. We will eventually, and now Neuralink is getting closer to that thing, we will eventually be able to read our brain and to know what is happening inside in a more detailed way. We now see it, but in a very fuzzy way. But we eventually will see what is happening and how the information and how memories and how everything that is happening in there is stored and processed. And eventually we will be able to copy and download your brain and put it in a USB stick. Okay? But if we put it in an other artificial robot, let's call it, this robot will have all your memories, all your knowledge, and all your
behavior patterns.
And your brain will be driving this robot.
All right.
So this robot is maybe not, right? But what happens on the other way? Tomorrow, my liver fails, and they put an artificial liver. And later, my lungs fail, and they put artificial lungs. And later, my legs fail, they put artificial legs, and then my arms and the rest of my body, and only my brain remains. Is that me?
Yeah.
And my brain fails, finally, and they replace my brain with the other robot brain, and they put it here.
Yeah.
Is that me?
Yeah, but I mean, even is your brain now even you? It's just sort of information, propagating up with your
5 years brain the same that is today.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
So this is something again that we are not even sometimes asking the right question.
Sure.
What is being? What is being you? What makes you being you?
You know, in the age of AI, and I think asking the right questions is more important than ever.
And those are questions that philosophers has been asking for years. There is this paradigm they call the Shipyard paradigm.
Okay.
They say, and this is an ancient Greek philosophy question.
All right.
And they say that you have a ship and you replace one piece of it, it's still the same ship, yes. But if you keep on changing one and another piece, it's in the final end when you replace every piece.
Just Greek philosophy. This is in Buddhism and Eastern thought as well. Like it's emptiness in form. You know, like is this the bench, or like is it this part? If you break this off, it's an interesting way to look at reality and how we're experiencing it, I guess.
So, what questions we're asking and we're not asking is what makes things alive what makes human beings human beings. We call different things like soul, faith, different things that we don't understand, that we cannot touch, but we know there's something there.
Yeah, we're using a word for it, trying to find a word for it.
Yeah.
So you said AI is not currently in a place where it is smart enough to fix or operate at a high enough level. But when do you think, or is the greatest potential for it to be able to fix society's problems?
Well, we are fast approaching this moment, but we're not yet there. Where we are, one of the breakthroughs has been the chatbot thing. So in November 2023, OpenAI presents 3.5, and it was awesome. It was like chatting for the first time with an actual person that replies you in a comfortable way, and it's friendly. And that created a new paradigm of saying machines can think in other terms than numbers, because previously we thought about machines being in deterministic way. So it thinks in numbers, and it only gives you the right answer. But they introduce different stuff like a temperature thing that it can
consider things,
and sometimes make mistakes like we do,
and sort of acknowledge it,
and sometimes it invents things, and sometimes invention is the first step to creation, and sometimes creation is the first step to innovation.
It has to start, as a thought, and then,
we started to think, okay, number one is what LLMs are doing today is chatting and creating this generative AI.
Yes.
Second thing is what we are close now, that is consciousness. And consciousness by meaning rationalizing things.
Yes.
If in the first version of ChatGPT, it just gave you the most probabilistic thing that was after what you said, and made many mistakes. But now they
can flavor them, and create little agents and personalities to interact with.
You may fool a 15-year-old boy, but in master degree assignment, you will know it was like playing without enough depth, and it was lacking things. But now it is applying different other models and architectures like chain of thought, that instead of trying to put the first answer that is probabilistically the most accurate, it tries to create small parts and small answers, and then constructs bigger answers. And that's how we suppose our brain works. So it's right now the answers are more similar to what we are doing as human beings. So this other step is it being more intelligent in this sense of rationalizing the answers. The next thing that we are close but not that close is being an agent. Having agency. So being more autonomous. What is mean more autonomous? That you can delegate things to it. Like what? Like connect to my email server and write this email, and then connect to the WhatsApp and send a message to this person.
Not there yet.
There are many trials, and they try. It's not easy because the environment of our applications, I will talk about later about the real world. But in the digital world, we have so many different configurations, applications, and different things that we do, that it's very difficult for these agents to be an actual agent that makes decisions. And in this real world, it's the worst. And that's why we don't have fully autonomous vehicles, right? Because the way of driving is so complex and is so changing, and the conditions may be in one way in one city, but in a very different in another
Have you ever drove through Mexico City?
See, if you ever drive in Mexico City, you will know that if you can drive here, you can drive wherever in the world, right? Because we are so aggressive here and defensive, and I see people from the United States that come here and say it's a nightmare. No, it's not just a nightmare. You just need to pay more attention to details, and paying attention to those details for an artificial intelligence is a nightmare because there are close to infinite number of variables that change every time.
If AI could fix one problem here in Mexico City, what should it first tackle?
For sure, social inequalities.
Of course,
Right?
Yeah.
I think that that's the main source of many other problems.
Okay.
And well, and second, how we manage resources.
Okay.
Managing and using the resources in the right way and preparing the next generations. I think that those are the two things that can be solved and fixed. But also we need to be careful because what happens today? The standard deviation in the intelligence of a normal person and a very smart person and a not that smart person is not that high,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
But what will happen when artificial intelligence is actually intelligent? One of the milestones will be it will be able to create knowledge. Right now, it's not able to create any knowledge. What I teach my students is imagine every piece of knowledge, every PhD tries to create a new knowledge, right?
Okay.
And every piece of knowledge, like a Lego piece, right? But a Lego piece with different forms and different shapes.
Okay.
And human beings can assemble these different shapes in some ways, but take some time for a human being to assemble it.
Sure.
Artificial intelligence and a machine can assemble this and try these different configurations of these assembles faster than a human being.